a suicide of possibilities. There it is. It's a suicide of possibilities. I have two different people in my mind from my time growing up. Between Little League Baseball and adulthood somewhere, young adulthood. It didn't take long. There was one kid I was on the team with on Little League. Little kids, you know. And his father was in the stands one night and he was screaming and he was drunk. And he was mad and yelling at his kid. This guy that I was somewhat friendly with, who through the years we split friendliness. It just drifted, you know. I didn't know he needed help. I was told today I'm a helpful person. I'm helpful. And I said, it's a goddamn compulsion. But his father was standing in the bleachers screaming drunk at the baseball game in the seats and the bleachers. And that kid just standing there going, ah. And as time went by and we split ways, he became somebody that was musically oriented, which I've never been. All right! As she wangos, she tangos! I don't sing, I scream, and I can't play a thing. That's why you need people around you. Can't have them all killing themselves off constantly. In the way I understand it, he became somebody that was very talented. But, you know, once somebody like Kurt Cobain shoots himself in the head, or dead shoots himself in the head, and Dead's friends come up and make a soup out of his brains and little necklaces out of the chunks of skull that were on the wall after he fucking shotgunned his fucking face all over it. You realize what good did that do anybody? But there was another friend of mine outside of this guy who became somebody that was getting some notoriety on a local level and decided to kill himself because he didn't get enough hugs from his mommy and his daddy. On the other side, you've got this other kid that told me when we became friends how his dad, when he was in Little League, and we were still in like early to mid high school becoming friends, he said, yeah, his dad, he got up one day and he was screaming in the bleachers, drunk, and saying, why aren't you wearing your glove? Because he borrowed somebody else's glove. Another kid on the team. And his dad got up drunk in the bleachers, made a fool out of him. Why is it that a drunk guy in the bleachers always seems to make a fool out of everybody? I don't know. Probably because they're mostly just fucked up and wrong. But he said about his dad, he was yelling at him, why are you wearing your glove? Because his dad had bought him a glove. His parents were divorced. And he was like, and And I'd met his father, and he was a very serious drunk. I'd never seen anybody so fucked up in a weekend at the age of like 14 or 15 that seemed to do so well for himself. So when I look at that side of it, one kid's story about dad getting up drunk in the fucking bleacher, I saw that kid's dad get drunk on the bleacher. And another kid's story about another, so I can imagine it. You've got two stories of fathers getting drunk and fucked up and then going to a baseball game to see their 10-year-old kid play however old he is. And to make a stink and embarrass the kid and all that. And the one kid who becomes an artist, I'm gonna tell my woe and my tales, and then finds out in time that his tales and his woes aren't so bad. What hope does he have for his future but to fucking knock it off? Whereas the other guy, his father is saying, well, I bought you that glove, and all fucking loaded. He seemed to do quite well later in life. We look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's probably got something to do with the locus of control. Blaming somebody else or deciding you're going to be better, one or the other. Who is it that tells this story? One's gone, one did well. It's a fence line at a Little League game. It's a fence line of drunks. Which side of the fence are you on as that kid? You know, how do you see it? How do you perceive it? Do you want to? And I have told a child once when his father was an asshole and had to back down. I did tell him, I said, you know, you do not have to grow up to be like your father. Outside of a motel room, where I kept my cool, because this guy's not real. He's just somebody that's yelling a lot. I looked at the kid as he was packing him up into his truck, and I said, you don't have to grow up like your dad. I think I changed a life. You gotta be able to say shit like that. You can say all you want, how you have every right to raise your children the way you want, but you're not really raising your children the way you want. You are creating a fucking mechanism, an insect. Dun, 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 dun. Hunter killer. You know, what do we got coming? So this little long story that I tell about these two different people that had the same father screaming drunk on the stands, it's designed to tell you that everybody that's sitting on a fence right now, how things are to be right and wrong, if they're actually looking into it, it is their choice. Once they turn 18, it's their choice. You can either leave the house and say, I'm free, I'm an adult, or you can stay there and listen to that and say, well, what are you gonna do out there? You're a useless piece of shit here. how are you going to do any better for yourself? You can't even fucking wipe your ass without me following you around, or something like that. That's somebody else's quote. It didn't come out of my family. So if you can see these two stories, you can see. Everybody on the fence of what's right and wrong has a choice. And they can either keep going along with it, understand how it works, and do just fine for themselves, or they can kill themselves and let people say, oh, I miss him, oh, I miss him, until I show up and I say, he was never worth anything to begin with. He only wanted you to miss him because he needed your attention. He didn't get enough hugs from his mommy and his daddy.